Hi guys, thanks for watching another episode of Main Street Mower. Today we are talking about hedge trimmer, gearbox, maintenance and care. This is the most expensive gearbox in STIHL's products. In a lot of cases this is more expensive than the engine that's running it. So taking proper care of this is important. It could save you hundreds of dollars. This new gearbox came out 4 years ago. It extended the blade length from 20 to 24. It stiffened the blades so that they stay a little tighter with time. And it did have some trouble coming out of the gates, but STIHL has really solved all that with this support runner that they added to the bottom. The older head used to have 2 places for grease, and the articulated head still has 2 places for grease. You may remember the old head had a light, thin grease in the bottom portion and a thick, dark grease in the upper portion for the gears. These gearboxes now all run only the light, clear, thinner grease. If you go into a STIHL dealer, you're going to find tubes of grease like this. This is an 80-gram pack. Or if you're a heavy consumer, you need a lot of grease, this is what's right for you. This is the larger tube, and it comes with a key that fits on here and lets you roll this tube up as you use it. You get the idea. This is 225 grams. You know, there's a lot of German and other languages on here. The main thing you're looking for if you're trying to grease your hedge trimmers is this little picture with a hedge trimmer on it. The other darker grease is still available, and that's what goes in a string trimmer or an edger. But this is the one that you're gonna use the most, and that's because these heads consume grease. When these gears warm up as you use this, it actually will take that solid grease and liquefy it, almost like bacon fat. And that liquid grease is sliding out in between the blades and lubricating all the way down the blades. So as you work with this, you are consuming grease. Now, according to the STIHL manual, you need to check your grease level every 25 hours of use, which for a homeowner, that may take more than a year. For a commercial guy, that's at least once a month, maybe more. So it also says that when you grease, we're going to be taking this plug out, and you want to look in there visually, check to see if you can see any grease, and then you add approximately 10 grams, so 1/8 of this tube. And that would be approximately a tablespoon's worth. You don't want to squeeze until it just won't hold anymore. You just want to give it a good little spurt of grease and put your plug back in. These are 2 aerosol sprays. These are for spraying directly on your blades. This one is more expensive and fancier. This is a resin cleaner. It also has an anti-corrosive to prevent rust from forming. This is one that once somebody buys this from us, they continue to put this on their shopping list. When the can runs out, they make a trip back into the store to buy some. It is excellent at keeping your blades clean. All the plants that you're cutting with a hedge trimmer are going to leave sap, and it's going to build up to a resin, and it's going to turn your blades brown. It's not rust, it's the sap from the plants. Well, that sap is going to create drag on your blades. It's going to slow your motor down. It's going to make your engine carbon up quicker. In the case of an electric hedge trimmer, it's going to drain your battery. It's going to put more load on that electric motor. Like in the case of a battery hedge trimmer, this is really the only maintenance that you can do, is keep your blades sprayed often as possible. This is just like WD-40. And if you have WD-40 in your garage, of course that's going to help. Like putting Pam on a pan before you cook eggs. If you don't put the Pam, you got egg all over it. If you spray this on, less sap is going to come off the plants and stick onto your blades. But this would be the best product to use there. If you have any grease that works better than this, or as good as this, and it's less money, or whatever it may be, drop them in the comments below. We'd like to hear about them, research them ourselves. Same with this. If you have any products for this, put them in the comments below. We want to see what else is out there on the market. But as far as we know, these are the products that are the best. All right, let's look inside and let's check this one's grease level. With your STIHL scrunch, your Torx 27 head, take this out. You see the end of it's dry. A lot of times if it's full, you're gonna have a little dab of grease there. and then look down into the hole, and down into the hole you can see there is grease. There is free space. You can see the gears. It's not totally covered. At the factory they're filling these like 60% full is my guess. All right, so we have our little plug out. Don't lose that. We carry those if you need them. If you lose them in the grass, open your tube. It's open. Once you take the lid off, it threads into this hole. Pretty cool. You do not want to just use any axle grease you have laying around the garage. One, it's gonna be hard to get it in there. But two, most of that tube grease that goes in the axles is a very high temp grease, which means it's gonna stay solid and it's not gonna melt under the temperature of this head. And it's not gonna do what it's designed to do of melting and sliding out in between the blades. So if you want to protect your $200 or $300 hedge trimmer gearbox, it's wise to buy the OEM grease from STIHL. So I'm just gonna see if I can fit a little in there. And now it is overly full, and it specifically says in the manual, do not fill to the absolute brim like this is now. It won't hurt this hedge trimmer head here, but now you can see the grease coming out of the hole. And you notice that this grease is yellow. It's light colored. It's pretty much clear grease. It looks kind of like Vaseline, actually, the closest thing I could say. Okay, now just to look at the articulating head. This is a shorter articulating head off an attachment. This is a 20-inch. You can also get this in a 24. We're not able to get any of those right now. This head at retail is $309 currently. Definitely would be wise to treat it like a baby. All right, you see this cap here has a little grease on the end, and this one's totally loaded. There's no room at all for me to add any more grease to this one. But that's not all. This hedge trimmer has another section that also gets greased. So that is located right here. And there is a little emblem cast into these gearboxes that shows a grease gun. And you see from the factory, it's loaded with a clear white Vaseline style grease. So in my career, countless times, we've seen broken, burn up gearboxes where these are blown up or clattering, and it's really too late to save them at that point. Our customer will say, I never greased it, I never knew I had to. And they'll have had it for 3 or 4 years. So I mean, it's a tough gearbox and quite tolerant, but if you're looking to get 10, 20 years out of your gearbox, the grease is gonna have to come into play, and the sooner the better. This spray is also very good. It's gonna protect your motor, keep less load on the blades, you'll keep more blade speed, you keep faster cutting, and then also sharpen your blades. The blades are hardened steel. They keep their edge a long, long time, but eventually they get dull, and a sharper blade will produce a much better cut. Your dealer should be able to do it and have them come out really nice. We do it here for $30 because it does take quite a while. There are 8 sides to this blade. So we have to sharpen all of these edges, all of these edges, all of these edges, all of these edges, and then the other side. That's pretty much all I have to say about caring for your hedge trimmer gearboxes, greasing, lubricating the blades, keeping them clean. This is an expensive attachment, and we appreciate you watching our channel. And please subscribe, please watch our other videos, please comment new content that you want to see. We'll make it. Thank you very much.